And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at Seasons Enchanted Kingdom, which is the first, I'm assuming the first expansion, for the very popular game Season. It comes in a small box, although I've been able to fit everything into the original box, which is pretty impressive considering the first box had a very shaped plastic insert, but everything does fit into there. What does Seasons add? If you like Seasons, is this expansion worth getting? Let's take a look. The first thing this expansion adds is a start player marker, which is totally not needed, but I mean, I guess some people like it. We find that in our games, we tend to always forget to pass around the first player marker. So it is what it is, but hey, it's in this game. Then there's some enchantment cards. Enchantment cards have a symbolology on one side and then text on the other side. What you'll do is you can randomly draw one of these at the beginning of a game, or you can choose one. Each has basically an effect that goes in the whole game. For example, this one here, players can only do one power card on a turn, which basically shuts down some combos that people can play. Or here, every time you transmute over the game, you get an extra crystal, or it gives you a fifth option for the bonus options, drawing a power card, or summoning a power card requires an additional energy token, or whenever the season marker reaches 7, which is summer, then there's a drought and the person with the most has to get rid of some. So some of them are positive things, and others of them are negative things, like this one here where every time you add a card to your hand you lose 5 crystals. So you can play with these or not. It basically just adds another rule to your game. Now, I had always thought that this hole here was where you put your die that you got each turn. But apparently, it is made for the special ability tokens that come in this expansion. At the beginning of the game, you will get 3 of these randomly drawn tokens, and you are going to pick one of them. And the one that you pick, as you can see, fits in here. Actually, it fits very snugly. They don't pop out that easily, but each of these gives you a special ability that you can use once per game, and then a certain number of points that it's worth if you use it over the course of the game. So let's talk about a couple of them. This one lets me move the season token 2 spaces in either direction, and it's worth 3 points at the end of the game. This one here, which is a very game-changing one for the player who has it, at the end of the game, any extra power cards in your hand, instead of them being worth minus 5 points, they are actually plus 3 points. Or this one here, it lets you take 2 tokens whenever you need to. The disadvantage, it's worth minus 5 at the end of the game. Or this interesting one, which gives you 12 crystals whenever you want, but is worth minus 6 at the end of the game. Take a card whenever you want, minus 5 at the end of the game. Kill one of your power cards, and it's worth plus 6 at the end of the game. This one here, you can basically lose one of your summoning points, but that's worth 10 points at the end of the game. Sacrifice 4 water tokens for plus 18 tokens at the end of the game. And there's a few other ones, but basically that's how those work. There are also 20 more power cards that are included over the course of the game. These just are shuffled into the regular deck. This is the easiest part of the expansion to add. I won't show you all 20, but I'll show you some of them. Some have an effect on other players. This one makes everyone else decrease their summoning gauge by 1, but they get 6 crystals. Here, everyone else either has to discard 4 energy tokens or discard a power card. There's some more powerful ones. This one's worth 24 points. As you can see, it's very difficult to get into place. The Familiar Catcher allows you to catch a familiar. The Throne of Renewal is one that I like quite a bit, where it lets you discard a power card and draw one, but also lets you move your Sorcerer token back 1 space on the bonus track, which essentially lets you use a free bonus over the course of the game. Or Io's Transmuter, which lets you transmute even if you don't roll it on the die. Speaking of keeping the die, the Steadfast die is a nice one to have, where basically if you don't roll what you want or get a die with what you want, you can take a certainly weaker power. Like, for example, you can increase your summoning gauge by 1, receive an energy, or transmute. That's not as good as a die, but if you need to do something, this is a nice one to have. Or the Shield of Zyra, where basically instead of discarding a different card, you can discard this power card instead. So maybe someone plays something that forces you to discard a card you'd like. Here you can discard this one and you get 10 crystals when you do so. The Amulet of Time is one I enjoy because you can discard power cards and draw new ones. And then we have a few that actually come with tokens. Here your energy reserve is decreased by 1, but whenever the season changes, you get an energy token. Now there were some cards in the original set that decreased your energy gauge. We now have these tokens here so that when you're playing, you can put these tokens here to show that your energy gauge is permanently shut down by 1 for this card. It's a negative thing, but usually the card gives you a bonus. And then Raven, the usurper, comes with a token, and you basically put that on someone else's power card and copy their power card. So that's actually pretty cool because you basically look around the board and see what other people have. There was also a card from the original set, the Bespelled Grimoire. This is from the original set. Well, this expansion comes with a token for that. Basically, what that one did is it let you have 3 more energy tokens. So you simply add this to your board now, and it has a spot for the 3 extra energy tokens. Not a necessary thing, but it does look cool and helps you remember rather than putting them on the card. The Seasons expansion here is kind of one, when this came out, I was at the store the day after it came out, and everybody, they sold every single copy because people love Seasons. But when people ask me about the expansion, I keep saying the same thing. It's good, but totally not essential. You don't need this expansion. If you never get this expansion, you love Seasons, you would be fine. Now, that is not the same as saying it's a bad expansion. First of all, the 20 new cards, which is really 40 cards because there's 2 copies of each, added to the deck is great. More flavor, more combinations, that's neat. That's great in and of itself. That's the best part of this. The different things that you can do. The special tokens, it's a nice addition, but it's so minor and so not really game-changing that I can take or leave them. Why not play with them? Gives you another choice to make over the course of the game, maybe 2 choices to make over the course of the game, and that's it. Okay, that's neat. Maybe as time goes by, we'll see more and more of these special tokens coming out, and maybe they'll become a bigger part of the game. The cards that change the course of the game, the one card you turn over at the beginning of the game and that's a rule for the rest of the game, I actually don't like those that much. It's like adding a rule for no reason than just adding a rule. And when it was a restriction, a negative thing, I don't like that at all. You can only play 1 power card per turn the whole game. What? Okay, thanks for putting that restriction on me. I don't understand how that's supposed to make the game more fun. Maybe you played Seasons so much, but that was the least interesting part of this expansion. And the thing is, that's it. This doesn't add tons of new things, it just adds a few small things. So more cards, great. Tokens, all right, not so bad. The new cards, the enchantment cards, don't really care for those. So would I recommend you get this? Well, if you love Seasons, yes, because it's more stuff to add to your game. Great. But other than that, it's definitely not a must-buy game. It's just a must-buy expansion. It just adds some cool stuff to the original game, and you really can take or leave it. I'm sure there'll be more expansions along the way, and I suspect the ones that come after this one will be better.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!